Hello everyone, welcome to Problems Consultancy Service and thank you for joining us today. In this video, we will demonstrate the workflow of advanced bank reconciliation in Odoo 19. So let's get started. Basically, in many organizations, customer payments and bank transactions do not always follow a simple one-to-one matching process. A single invoice may be paid through multiple payments. One payment may cover multiple invoices. Foreign currency transaction may create an exchange difference. Bank transaction may have different dates from the recorded payments, and a single payment may appear as a multiple bank transactions. The bank reconciliation workflow in Odoo provides a centralized solution for matching the bank transaction with payments and invoices. It helps users to accurately re- reconcile the financial transactions, handle a complex payment scenario, identify difference, and maintain accurate invoice and payments. In this video, we will demonstrate 5 advanced and tricky reconciliation scenarios. So let's get started. We can start with the case 1, multiple payment for a single invoice. So let's get started. Let's begin with the first scenario. In this case, one invoice is settled using two separate payments. So first navigate to the accounting invoice. Then create a new invoice for dollar 1000 payment. Here we can select 10 quantity. Okay. Confirm or post invoice. Now click the pay button and create a payment for only $600. Create it. You can see after the creating the first payment, here we have entry of 600 amount, and now back to the invoice. Register the second payment is the remaining 400. So the total payments are 600 plus 400 equal to $1,000. Okay. The complete invoice amount has now been paid through two separate payment records. Okay. So next we need to create a corresponding bank transaction. Navigate and manually create transaction for $600. So duplicate it and here go to dashboard and here go to the transaction and at 600 close it. So here you can see our transaction is now completed, and now this invoice in a partial stage. Now create another payment for remaining amount. Validate that amount, and now again go to the dashboard, then click on transaction create another manual bank statement. For now, you can create a 400 and close it. Now you can see match each bank transaction with its corresponding payment. After validation, the reconciliation, the complete 1000 invoice is reconciled. This scenario demonstrates how Odoo can handle a multiple payments against a single invoice while maintaining the correct payment and reconciliations records. Back to the invoice and see. Now stage convert partial to pale. Here you can see. Here you can see now this stage converts into paid. Now let's move to the second scenario called single payment for a multiple invoice. It's also known as a batch payment scenario. So in this example, the customer has a three invoice one, invoice two, and invoice three. So let's first fastly create three invoices for the same customer. Here for this first invoice for $500, then confirm it, then again create a one invoice for same customer, and as per your requirement you can change your product. Here we have created an invoice for $300. Then again create a last one invoice for $200. Oh, sorry, for $200. Then confirm it. Okay. The total outstanding amount is a $1,000. Now create and confirm all three invoices for the same customer. Next, create a single payment for the customer using the bank general. So go to the payment. The single payment is a in settle for all three invoices. Now manually create a bank payment using same customer 1000, confirm it, validate and pay. Now manually we have to create a bank transaction for this. So create a new, add a label, let's say multiple invoice payment. Here we have to set a partner. Then click on the reconcile button. You can see here we have a show uh, what which one invoices are pending for bank transaction, and it is on a, so click on these three and select. It is generated the list and how many invoices for this customer are in payment. So here we have created 1000 bank transaction for our three invoices. Let's go to that invoices to show is it paid or still in payment. Here you can see all three invoices status are has been paid because we have a create a one single transaction for multiple invoice. So this scenario demonstrate how one payment can be allocated across the multiple invoices during the reconciliation process. So now let's move to the third scenario of foreign currency invoice with the exchange difference. This scenario demonstrates how Odoo handle a foreign currency invoice when the exchange rate changes between the invoice date and payment date. First, enable and configure the multi-currency from the accounting configuration. If we have already configured, then we cannot see that workflow. Basically, go to the configure, then go to the currency. Here, just active the necessary currency. Okay. So now, for this example, assume the company's main currency is a USD, while the invoice and payment are in euro. So first, create a customer invoice for 1000 euro. Go to the invoice, click on new. Here you can change the currency. Here you can configure the price for a one unit, one USD for a euro. Now, okay. So now confirm it, then pay and create payment and validate that payment. Now we have to create a bank reconciliation for this entry to euro to USD. So let's get started. So now click on a new and your invoice number is 33. Let's say we have got a 1000, close. and click on a reconcile. In here you can see we have to create a bank transaction for our invoice 33. Now go to the invoice section. In here you can see we have a paid state in our invoice. So Odoo basically recognize the difference as an exchange gain or loss according to the configure exchange difference accounts. After the validation, the reconciliation, the invoice is fully reconciled and the exchange difference is recorded. This scenario demonstrates how Odoo handle a foreign currency transactions and automatically account for exchange rates difference during reconciliations. Now let's move to the fourth scenario, payment with bank transactions date mismatch. In this scenario, the payment date and the bank transaction dates are different. So first create the invoice for 1000, confirm it. Now pay. Here we have a payment date and invoice date is a 14 August. Now create a payment. Now validate the payment and manually create the corresponding bank transaction. However, instead of using August 14, send the bank transaction date to August 17. Let's create the transaction. Date of 34. Then here, let's say we have to set 18th August. Okay. Let's 1000 and save. So the payment date is August 14 and bank transaction date is August 17. Match we have matched the bank transaction with the $1,000 payment and validate the reconciliation. The transaction can be reconciled even through the payment date and bank transaction date are different. Finally, open that invoice and you can see verify it's as a paid state in this invoice. Now this scenario demonstrates how date difference between records payment and actual bank transaction can be handled during bank reconciliation. Now finally let's look at the fifth scenario called multiple bank transactions for one single payment. In this scenario, there is only one payment but the corresponding bank accounts appears as a multiple bank transactions. First, create and confirm customer invoice for 1000. Let's go to the invoice, then new, select a customer, add a product, update the quantity and confirm it, pay and also validate. Now manually create a two separate bank transaction. So for invoice 35, we have to create a bank transaction. Go into transaction, click, then new. Have to select partner. And here we can add $600 and add and a new. Again this entry for $400. Okay, done. Now you can see we have complete the transaction for one single invoice with multiple bank transactions. Now back to the invoice. Open the 35 number invoice. Now here you can see our invoice document state is a convert in payment to the paid. So this scenario demonstrates how multiple bank transactions line can represent the amount of a single payment and how those transactions can be handled during reconciliation. So in this video, we will demonstrate 5 advanced bank reconciliation scenario in Odoo 19 Enterprise. First, multiple payment for a single invoice where two payments are used to settle one invoice. Second, single payment for a multiple invoice where one payment is allocated across three invoices. Third, foreign currency invoices with exchange difference where a change in exchange rate create an exchange gain or loss during reconciliations. Fourth, payment bank with bank transaction date mismatch where the payment date and bank transaction dates are different. And finally, multiple bank transaction for one payment where multiple bank transactions represent the total amount of a single payment. These scenarios demonstrate how Odoo can handle more complex real-world reconciliations required beyond the simple one-to-one payment matching. Thank you for watching this video. We hope this demonstration help you to understand how advanced bank reconciliation in Odoo 19 can simplify complex payment matching, improve financial accuracy, and provide a better control over a customer payments and bank transaction. Thank you. If you have any query, then feel free to ask.